We're live. All right. So, hey, if you happen to be tuning in live or if you're watching this stream after the fact, welcome to Stormfront Freaks Raw. So we call this Raw because it's the recording. You're going to catch, we just missed a great story from Doug, our guest tonight, on roadside workout equipment and what you can claim and not claim. But that's the kind of stuff you get on Stormfront Freaks Raw. If you want to listen to the edited version of this podcast recording, it's usually made available the following Sunday. Brady, you got someone shaking a drink in the background there, or what's going on?
No, sorry, I was moving my mic.
I wanted to ask MJ, did Doug say something wrong? You've totally blocked him out there with the logo.
Oh,
yeah. Take that.
I realize he's being censored. We didn't want to show his face if he got the free stuff.
Right, I see how the guests are treated now.
He was changing. He's working out. He's working out in the back. But anyway, if you want to catch the edited recording of the show, of the audio show, we usually upload that Sundays after our recording. This is episode 115 tonight. We've got Doug Hilderbrand from the National Weather Service. He's with the Weather Ready Nation, easy for you to say, program. But anyway, catch it then, because this is, we always call this a strong PG-13 sometimes, the raw recording. So we got a great show tonight. Got a big bombshell announcement we're going to make as well, so stay tuned. We got Brady, so we're good. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, Phil. How are you?
All right, we're good.
Did we win the lottery or something? I want to know now.
No, not that kind of a bombshell.
No, not that announcement.
I want to start sleeping.
It's better.
In.
I'll say that. It's better.
Better.
All right. So everybody looks good. I think everyone's mic was on MJ. Quick test applause. How was that?
Good. Audience pumped up.
Well, Doug's here tonight, so
yeah, exactly.
You would be okay. This is gonna be good. And hey, and a reminder to the freaks. So Doug's got to go at 9:45.
Oh,
so
okay.
He's got to go at 9:45. So our breaks might be a little quicker tonight, just to roll and keep going.
Hit it, man.
I'm playing with the layout stuff a little bit because I got new choices now for doing stuff. Because I can put Maz in there instead, or I can put.
Why would you do that?
Doug
yeah,
in there
and those of you that are live, feel free to jump on the chat feature,
and then I can block out Maz.
And we'll hit that too. Everybody ready? So we'll do the quick intro. I'm going to make the bombshell announcement. We'll take just a couple more minutes to cover that. We'll do what are you drinking? Excuse me.
Have we?
Something carbonated.
We'll do that, and then Maz, you ready for the intro?
Yes, sir.
You're good on that. Okay. All right. Then we're ready to roll. Doug,
Doug or Douglas?
Doug works.
Good, because I was going to call you Doug, so I just.
All right, here we go. Let's get started. Brady? What's going on in your house there, man?
What do you mean?
I don't know.
Parakeet.
You got a cat running around or beating on the?
Maybe.
All right, maybe. So here we go. We are coming in 3, 2. We'll try that again. We don't want to start with the crowd laughter. Hey guys, it's applause, not laughter yet. Ready? Okay. Bob turned the wrong sign on. Here we go. 3, 2. Hey, welcome everybody to the most entertaining weather podcast on your listening and viewing device. This is the award-winning Stormfront Freaks podcast, episode 115, and our special guest is the National Weather Service Weather Ready Nation Preparedness and Resilience Lead. Doug Hilderbrand is with us tonight. So we look forward to chatting with Doug. But we also we're going to do, of course, the lightning round game show with him. We have our hashtag weatherfools, which I like to say is our contribution to the Weather Ready Nation. And we did find another potty mouth forecast on the dark web. So you're definitely going to want to stay tuned for that. A very famous meteorologist that had a few, I guess, choice words that we've bleeped out for your benefit. But before we get to all of that, to celebrate International Podcast Day, I've got a bombshell announcement to share with you guys about a new way we're creating opportunities to interact more personally with you. We've been doing this for almost 5 years. So beginning with our October 29th show featuring Brad Panovich, we're going to be offering a number of special options, including the live stream of our Stormfront Freaks Raw, which this is what we call our strong PG-13 unedited episode recording that we do every other Thursday night, but we call that Stormfront Freaks Raw because it's unedited. We're going to be offering that exclusively to our Patreon members. And so, we're on Patreon now. This is great. We're going to have 5 different levels of support and participation. So if you go to patreon.com/StormfrontFreaks, you'll find there's a $1 a month, what we call the Supercell supporter level, which just helps us because we've got an annual cost to stream all this stuff and save all this stuff and everything. So it's going to help us too. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. These graphics can come cheap.
That's right. We have the $5 a month, what we call the Blizzard Raw Access, and that's where you're going to be sent the exclusive live link to our recording every other Thursday nights, which is going to be no longer available live to the public. So starting October 29th, if you like watching our live Raw streams, you're going to have to be a part of our Patreon so that we can start sending that to you exclusively by email. We then have a $12 a month. We call that the EF5 merch and more.
Is that Date with Brady? That's a Date with Brady, isn't it?
Date with Brady.
Let's go Brady.
That's coming up. Stay tuned. So at this level, every 4 months, we're going to send you some great merch as well as exclusive participation in product giveaways that we've previously made available to the public. So a lot of times, we'll work with weather companies and especially our holiday weather gift guide. We get all kinds of free weather products, and we'll make that stuff available only to our Patreon members. We have a $20 a month Tropical Storm Happy Hour, and this is the Date with Brady. Once a month.
Drunken happy hour?
We're going to host a virtual happy hour with some of our co-hosts and our special patrons. And all of these levels so if you're at the $20 a month level, you get all the other ones below that. So you'll get the raw access, you'll get the merch and more. And then if you upgrade to the granddaddy of them all, it's the $50 a month Hurricane Guest VIP access. There's only 4 of these available, but you are actually going to be invited to the green room of our show recordings and have access to ask our special guest questions during breaks. So, tonight we've got Doug on. You'd be able to stay in our green room while we're recording, and then during breaks we'll bring you in and you can ask Doug questions or whoever our guest might be. I mean, do you want to talk to Jim Cantori? Do you want to talk to Reed Timmer, Ginger Z? These are all past guests that we've had multiple times. That too, or a Date with Brady. Anyway, you got to visit patreon.com Stormfront Freaks now. Pick a level of support that you like because we want to interact with you more as well. And so we love this idea of being able to do that. So let's find out who we do have here tonight from our co-hosts. It is always happy hour when we record. And so it also lets you know that, hey, we like to have a good time by finding out what everyone's drinking. So, Dina, I'm going to start with you tonight. What are you drinking?
I'm drinking my Michelob Ultra, but I'm almost done already.
Oh, wow.
Gotta get another one.
I stepped out early, and I don't know, I was thirsty.
We got to get to that first break so you can get a new one. MJ, what are you drinking?
Well, disappointingly, perhaps, tonight I'm just drinking Coca-Cola because I have a couple of things I have to do after the show.
Very good. Maz, what are you drinking?
All right, so I have a Fireball whiskey with A&W root beer.
That's
it's really sweet. And it's in my Nebraska Big Ten to play football.
Of course. Yeah. All right, Brady's obviously cooking something. I can hear dishes clanking and everything in the background. So there is a mute button, by the way. But what are you drinking?
I'm always cooking, baby. Whether that be food, whether that be life. I'm a cooking guy. Well, I'm drinking some red wine here tonight, and it wasn't great, and now it's really kind of opened up, and it's got some nice legs to it. So pretty good.
Nice.
Very good. All right, well, let's get to our guest. We've talked too much ourselves. Maz, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Doug Hilderbrand. Hey, he's the Weather Ready Nation Preparedness and Resilience Lead at the National Weather Service headquarters. Now, he's been at the NWS for 18 years, starting at the Weather Prediction Center and also a 2-year stint as the NOAA Policy Advisor for Weather and Satellites. He's got a bachelor's degree from Bucknell University, master's in geology from University of Southern Florida, and a master's in meteorology from North Carolina State University. My first question is, Doug, which is your favorite degree and why?
Well, it depends on, the definition of favorite. My favorite time, of course, is the University of South Florida, spending 3 years in the city of Tampa in your early to mid 20s. It doesn't get much better than that.
So that was where you partied the most. Which school did you party?
That's right. That was the get the partying out. I did really enjoy my meteorology experience. What was interesting about NC State was I took undergraduate courses at the same time as I was taking my graduate level courses. I actually got accepted and went into the meteorology graduate program, not having taken a single meteorology course. So
how did that happen?
Wow.
Now, did you?
I don't know if that was brave or just stupid.
Well, like, did you ever take dynamics and derive the omega equation?
Oh God!
I took both senior level forecasting courses. So and I had a absolutely wonderful professor, Gary Lackman, who was awesome. And I was able to not take it for a grade, but, did well in it. It was the, environmental fluid dynamics class that was pretty brutal. And I would walk out, check my email in the email lab that tells you how old I was. You had to go to a lab to check your email. And then I'd come back into class and just write down what I missed on the board. It was a struggle.
Because Dina, isn't dynamic why we drink?
I know. I'm like,
No.
I'm just sitting there. I'm like, well,
Yeah.
deriving the omega equation. Like, I just want to forget it.
Diffie Q is why we drink. That is
Okay,
a
all right.
differential
Yeah.
equation.
Oh,
That is why
yes.
we
Yeah,
drink.
I'll agree with
Oh
that.
God!
So I have 3 kids who are all taking algebra in 7th and 8th grade now. And so I'm starting to really kind of get into those flashbacks of middle school and high school where all of it comes back, but I haven't touched it in 25, 30 years.
Are they home or are they actually in class?
They're all home. So I have
Oh, really?
Full house.
full
That
house.
sounds like fun.
Yeah. That's why you drink. Yeah.
That's right, which is right after this show.
Sounds like they're coming after you too.
I'm drinking
I hear the cops coming after you. So, Doug, tell us a little bit about. So you moved from forecasting to the Weather Ready Nation program. I guess tell us a little bit about that program. What attracted you to do that?
Right. Well, I've been all over the map when it comes to my career. Starting off for 2.5 years doing shift work, working 11-hour shifts. And after about 2.5 years, I said, I got to get out of the, 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. shift and kind of have a normal 9-to-5 job. And so looked at National Weather Service headquarters. So it wasn't much of a move from Camp Springs at the time where NSEP was to headquarters in Silver Spring, Maryland. But I actually jumped into, forecast uncertainty, worked a little fire weather, was out in Boise at times, really doing a lot of more of the science and technology to research to operations transitions. And it wasn't until 2011, which was the National Weather Service's sort of crossroads as an agency with the, Southeast tornado outbreak, the, incredible flooding of the Mississippi, if you recall. Obviously, Joplin comes to mind in 2011. There were a lot of significant events, and then 2012 with Sandy, that's when the sort of the birth of Weather Ready Nation started. And I was in the right place at the right time. I was downtown working in the NOAA policy office. So I got involved, actually, not from within the Weather Service, but down in NOAA, working with the NOAA administrator and others, trying to create this movement, which really over the last 10 years, it's become a national movement toward better resiliency, better preparedness, and really creating a weather ready nation takes all of us. And, I can eventually talk about the ambassador program, which has an interesting story in itself.
How has it changed, like from the very beginning to where it is now? I mean, was it the beginning was kind of like, yeah, it's not going to work. And then you're like, oh, that's good. Let's do that. I mean, how did you all just kind of get to where we are today?
We kind of, first of all, we kind of stumbled across the name. It was it was the title of our strategic plan, which is not all that sexy when you come to, how did it all happen? But people resonated with sort of the action driven words of being a weather ready, creating a weather ready nation. And really what it did was it had two components. One was the National Weather Service had to change, and NOAA, not just the Weather Service, but other parts of NOAA, our satellites, our coastal resilience had to change. We had to look beyond just, and this is sort of the elevator speech, but we had to look beyond the accuracy of the forecast, right? For all of meteorological history, our performance is based on how accurate we got the forecast. But when you looked at late April 2011, we had spot on warnings, we had lead time, and yet, over 300 people lose their lives. And so what's going on that we're not capturing to get a really good outcome? And that's really the heart of what Weather Ready Nation was. And so the Weather Service had to change, focusing more on social science, how users are taking our information and making decisions, new dissemination methods. Remember, in 2011, Facebook, Twitter was sort of all new. We weren't really using it other than just getting reports from people. We weren't using it as a communications out to people. And, wireless emergency alerts, sort of things that we're all taking for granted today in 2020. These were all sort of in their infancy, back 10 years ago. So we were doing all these things internally to improve, outcomes of these significant events. But, where I come in with the Weather Ready Nation Ambassador Program, again, thank you for being an outstanding Weather Ready Nation Ambassador, is we realize government can't do it alone, right? It can't just be a government program trying to, change government. It's got to be bigger than that. And we've got to embrace that partnership across the country, get our 122 forecast offices all involved at the community level. And, I'm one of my proudest achievements in my career is we have over 11,000 ambassador organizations, not just people, but organizations that are committed to this shared goal of resilience.
But we're the best, right? We are.
Tonight, you're the best.
Yeah. Doug, I have it. Like, where do you envision this going? I mean, you said 2011. Yeah, we never really had, we didn't communicate via Facebook and Twitter, which is like Twitter is where I look for a lot of people who's taking pictures of things. But where do you see it being in another 10 years?
I see it kind of driving the, real almost fundamental shift in meteorology, right? We're always going to be wanting to, improve upon the forecast and be as accurate as possible, and investing the science and technology, the forecast tools, the data that we need. But, the buzzwords today are what? Artificial intelligence, machine learning. And, at some point, the forecaster is going to have to rely more on that side of the equation, the technology, and add value by being that decision maker of, what information is important. And yes, we can be more accurate on our forecast. But again, as 2011 showed, we can keep improving that forecast, but we got to be improving that decision making, the pre-planning, the exercises, the drills, the ability for cities to develop or to plan in smart ways. We need to get a hold of the 100-year floodplain. That's a complete sort of misnomer, and it's a struggle communicating that risk to homeowners.
So are you saying I need to get flood insurance?
Yeah,
we just had a flood a couple years ago, so I thought I was good for another 90
I think the
days.
saying is, if you live on planet Earth, you should have some level of flood insurance. Yes.
Wow. Doug, when I think we all struggle with this question in our careers. You want to have satisfaction in what you do every day. You want to feel like you make a difference. Like when you go to work and you do the Weather Ready Nation and all your communication, like what gives you the most satisfaction? Like when you go home, you're like, that was worth going to work.
So I feel like, and I'm sure you get a lot of this, I feel like I have the best job in the Weather Service. I feel like I have the best job in meteorology. I do believe that what I do every day does save lives. And it can be, something like teaching I visit schools. I work on our social media campaigns and how we explain it with our ambassadors is we create a buffet of opportunities for ambassadors to engage. And so a lot of times I'm creating the buffet of things like, safe place selfie. We reached 90 million Twitter accounts last April. We do it every year for the last 4 years. And it's kind of become my little baby, my project every spring, working with a lot of really talented people. But it's an incredible social media event where we are trying to get weather safety, which, let's be honest, I feel sometimes like I'm a broccoli farmer, right? Weather safety, it's good for you, but you avoid it in the cafeteria line, right? So we've got to spice that broccoli up with a little, olive oil and sea salt and garlic and pepper. We got to make weather safety something that's hip, fashionable, something that if you're not weather ready, society sort of, comes down hard on you, much like wearing your seatbelt. Anytime I don't have my seatbelt on, my kids tell me, Dad, remember your seatbelt. And so that's what we want out of these communities across the country. And so to answer your question, I feel like I am saving lives, and I feel like I contribute to the larger messaging that's out there. And words have meaning and they have value. And you see it with some of these hurricanes. When we make the decision, it's life-threatening flooding or storm surge, people take action, and that's where I really love my job from sort of a communications and an external partnership point of view.
And those that don't take action, we call them hashtag weatherfools.
Yeah, we do.
And we point them out. We throw them under the bus. Hey, check out the lineup of Stormfront Freaks merchandise at helicity.co. We've got shirts, we've got mugs, face masks, and also check out our new stickers. Just go to helicity.co and click on the brands tab to find all of your Stormfront Freaks favorites. But hey, it's time for a quick break. We're going to be right back with more from Doug and test your skills along with him on our lightning round. Stay tuned.
Okay, I know what .com is. What the heck
there
is
you go.
.co?
Yeah, what's CO?
Never heard of it.
We miss the M?
CO.
.com.
It's another
Colorado.
end.
It's another top level.
It's another
domain,
whatever
right?
you called.
Okay.
Yeah, ending.
They had a cool shirt I wanted to order. It just says, I make it rain. I think I need that. Like I buy a bunch of their stuff and all of our Stormfront Freak stuff, but I'm like, I like the one that says I make it rain.
That's cool.
They've got a good niche, that's for sure.
Who do we got tuning in? We got Todd. Happy Harvest Moon. Is it Harvest Moon?
Cowboy Steve.
Yes, it is.
Right on.
Cowboy
Here.
Steve is on.
I don't
Rick.
even call him by his full.
Rick is back and Lori's back.
Brady's got a cat playing cymbals back there, right? You know what that is?
I do. I've trained a cat. You know what? Can we put him on later? I think that would actually be pretty
Where
entertaining.
is he? Let's see him.
It is well, he's still practicing, so give him a little bit.
I do hear Doug. Is that you got something? People clanking something in the background, or
The only thing I can think of is my computer fan is on, but that shouldn't be clapping.
It sounded like dishes.
See, there it
sounds
was
like
again.
Pots and pans.
pots
Here,
and
hold-
pans.
Here's my cat trying to bang the door down.
Let her in.
One comes in and they
Come
just make
on,
too much
man.
Do
noise.
you hear it when I'm on mute?
Well, it's only
It's
happens
rare.
every once in a while. So
Yeah.
We've been blaming
Yeah.
Brady, but
we've been done great.
It's good to just blame Brady.
Yeah, I'm the guy to blame. It's
Doug, that's
fine.
what he's on for, is just to blame
Just
Brady.
the blame
we blame
guy.
Brady and we're still Brady on
Blame
dates.
guy. Yeah.
All right, anybody got questions? Everybody good?
Hold on, is it this?
Yes,
Yes.
that's what it
Yes.
is.
It's the
That's
chair.
The chair, got it.
The chair is running over a plate.
WD-40.
Running over a plate.
That's it.
Damn it.
Well, look what Steve said. So
Steve's
Steve,
got-
It
Yeah.
sounds like you're going over crushed glass.
Put
or
that up, it
something.
like takes up the entire screen.
All right, I'm gonna be like super still.
So yeah, take a look at that.
Just get in a catcher's position.
Yeah, I'm reading all
the whole
this, Steve. Hang on. This,
he's writing a book. I'm a huge fan of Weather.
Good
All
story.
right.
Awesome.
All right, that's why I get up in the morning, right there.
that's nice.
All right, there we
Thank
go.
you, Steve.
time. That is nice.
Steve, what's your, let us know what your chase team is. I forget name of your chase team.
Can you put that back on?
Cowboy.
You gonna
is this-
screenshot it?
There.
There you go.
That was the Pawnee.
Oh yeah, I can screenshot this. Well, yeah. Give me a sec. There you go. All right, you can take it off.
Got it.
Cool.
Cool. Thanks, Steve.
Dina and I are posing.
Of
Just
course.
didn't see it. All right. So we will come back. I've a question to start with Doug when we come back. And then I will say maybe 10 minutes. And then we'll start the lightning round about 9:35 Eastern. And try and wrap that up in 10 minutes and get Doug out of here.
Texas Vortex.
Texas Vortex Storm Chase Team.
Very
You guys got to get
Hang on,
stickers.
hang on one
I'm
second. I gotta
trying
let
to
the cat out.
I'm trying to get a bunch of Storm Chase stickers from Chase teams and trade them with some of our Stormfront Freaks stickers. So
Yeah.
anybody watching or listening, if you've got a Chase team with a sticker, email me at phil@stormfrontfreaks.com or catch us on Twitter or whatever, and we'll do some sticker exchanges.
I think the next thing we should get is like life-size cutouts of each of us just in the background.
Case your stick. You just
Hey, we could
Yep.
make that a Patreon level, and
Yes.
There you go.
where we'll make
Yeah.
a picture of them and stick them in the background crowd.
That
in
was
the
pretty
stands.
awesome.
can I have a Dina cut out?
Okay, everybody ready?
I get a Maz.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll take that as a yes. Coming back in 3, 2. Hey, welcome back, everybody. We've got Weather Ready Nation's Doug Hilderbrand with us, and so Doug, I've got a question. You talked about the ambassador program, which Stormfront Freaks is a proud part of that. I'm curious to know, because I have seen lately on social media, my guess is each weather forecast office gets to nominate or present an ambassador of the year. Is that maybe how it works? But
That's right.
so here's my question: What were some of the unique messaging options that have been coming this year from some of those winners?
Phil's shooting for a trophy.
They, they held podcasts and
Gave you swag.
you're in the run. You're in the lead now since it's October 1st.
Okay.
You know, it's we got about 75. First of all, we've recognized 75 organizations out of 11,000. And sometimes it's because there's a new relationship. We have Navajo Nation Department of Emergency Management, which is awesome to be able to reach out to the tribal communities. We've gotten a newspaper. We've had, an incredible variety, but they're all, almost like what Steve, his little quote there, they're all diving deep into the community and making real change. So whether it's, we have a couple of universities that are really working with the Weather Service on, the messaging to their students and faculty and getting their campus secure, making sure that people have a plan, making sure, going back to Tuscaloosa, one of the heartbreaking stories that I heard out of the 2011 tornado outbreak were students at the University of Alabama, originally in a, hardened, if you've ever been there, their campus buildings are just, brick, solid structures, and they panicked, and what happens when you're feeling like you're in danger, you go home, and they actually went back to their dorm or back to their house, and that's where they died. They kind of went from safety to unsafety. And so it's those things that we want to turn the narrative on. And these ambassadors of excellence are really, they're acting as force multipliers, getting the message out. And I'll leave it with this. Government, we are an authoritative source, but there's a lot of parts of this country where they're not really looking for the federal government telling them what they should and shouldn't be doing. But it's the trusted sources within these communities that if they're speaking, if they're saying, hey, you need a plan, you need to prepare, that people are actually responding to, and combine that with I joke about the podcast, but you change minds when you speak to people in real world ways. And that's what we want out of Weather Ready Nation. It's not just a forecast on a screen. It's not just getting that tornado warning. It's, I know what to do. I know the appropriate shelter I need to go to. That's what we're all about.
I like that safe place selfie. That's very
yes.
cool. Do you get like a wide spectrum or something? Those are excellent. These are, dude, what were you thinking type of selfies in their places, or what do you get?
Well, a lot of our activity is centered around tornadoes, but it's actually what we really encourage is to think about the various risks that you have and the hazards, right? So you can prepare for a tornado, but chances are, let's be real, chances are you're not going to experience a tornado in your life. It doesn't mean it doesn't happen to people, but you're much more likely to face a flash flooding event, face lightning when you're outside, face, the potential of a tree nearby falling on your home, on your car, in the yard. That's where, we're really trying to encourage this all hazards approach where your car is a great shelter when there's lightning. It's a horrible shelter for the tornado or the flooding risk. And even, these nuanced hazards, I'm particularly interested in, and it's dear to my heart because I have a 2-year-old, but hearing these horrible stories of children either being left in cars or gaining access to cars and not being able to get out because of child locks and whatnot. We're actually seeing an uptick in that with the majority of people, a lot of people staying at home, teleworking. Their kids are running around the house. They leave their stuffy in the car, they go out and get it, they open up the car, they get inside, they can't get out, and they're not old enough to realize that a hot vehicle is not a place to be, and tragedy strikes. And so there are safe place selfies of what can you do to prevent that from happening. Rip currents, we just came up the 1 year anniversary of a good friend and a senior level leader in the National Weather Service who died from a rip current or rough surf off the North Carolina coast. It can happen to anybody, and we're all about making sure people enjoy their vacation, but doing it the right way.
Yeah. So Doug, I have a question. Now it sounds like, just from what I've seen, you guys are having pretty awesome success and getting a lot of partners signing up. Where is there any opposition? I mean, I can't think of anyone that would be necessarily completely opposed to it, but there's got to be some challenges in either bringing on maybe a private sector, business, or private that puts out their own warnings. What are some of the challenges you've run into with this Weather Ready Nation?
So from the ambassador standpoint, we have 11,000 ambassadors. I think one time somebody kind of came back to us and said, I'm not sure of this. I kind of have buyer's remorse. So that's 1 out of 11,000.
Wow.
God bless them. But from a Weather Ready Nation, we whether it was before Weather Ready Nation or during Weather Ready Nation and the things that we're trying to do, there's always a strong desire to partner and communicate with the public-private partnership. What's the role of government? What's the role of weather providers? And it's never going to be clean and perfect, but we are in constant communications. We hold partner events where we talk about our plans. And so hopefully we avoid issues. But the thing about Weather Ready Nation and the ambassadors is it's kind of, it's the old saying, higher tide lifts all boats. We're looking at building that interest to be resilient, which then gives business opportunities to our weather industry partners. And that's what Weather Ready Nation's about. I mean, if you look across the country, we are only skimming the surface from an economic engagement with the value of weather services. How many companies out there really don't get the weather services that they need, whether it's coming, from government, but mostly from the private sector. So we're constantly working that.
All right, well, hey, that's the sound. It is time for our lightning round. Doug, this is our game show of flashy and brilliant questions that we always play with our guests. We always invite everybody else to play along as well, and especially if you're live on our chat tonight. So I understand you've got some affinity with Philadelphia. What's your connection to Philadelphia?
Well, I was born here in the DC area, but I lived age 2 through college just outside Philadelphia in a town called Collegeville, Pennsylvania. But I'm a diehard Philadelphia sports fan.
All right. Well, we're playing a game tonight. We're calling this Name That Philadelphia Icon.
All right.
Name that Philadelphia icon. Now, I have no guarantees that any of our co-hosts know anything about Philadelphia, but here's what it is. I'm going to go through and start giving you some hints about either a Philadelphia movie, a Philadelphia TV show, or a Philadelphia sports legend.
All right.
Okay.
Let's do it.
So I'm gonna start rattling through. There's 3 hints for each one. And the minute you think you know what it is, Doug, you chime in. And if you get it wrong, I'm going to turn it over to the freaks to see if they might be able to guess. Does that make sense?
All right.
Okay.
All right. So here we go. So here's the first.
Food, Phil.
I'm nervous.
Okay. All right. So the first one. Here's the first hint: a 1999 thriller film from M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong, whatever his last name is.
M. Night Shyamalan.
M. Night Shyamalan, 99 thriller film.
Yes, Sixth Sense.
Oh, wow. Nice. You got that already. Okay, here's the next one. TV sitcom between 1990 and 96. West Philadelphia, born and raised.
Oh, yeah.
Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
No.
No, freaks.
Fresh Prince of
Bel-Air.
Oh my God, that's a.
There we go.
Well, technically that was in Bel Air.
That was Phil.
But it was about the guy who's from Philadelphia.
Can you buzz yourself?
That's a trick question.
No.
That's all right.
Can you buzz yourself?
I control it, so that's just how this game works. All right.
Okay.
All right. Next one. Number 20 jersey is retired.
Brian Dawkins.
Whoa.
That's not this one. Freaks, do you want any idea?
Is there more to this question?
Philly
No.
cheesesteak.
That's all you get.
No.
All right. So going back to Doug. Next one. One with the Phillies in 1980.
Mike Schmidt.
Very good, Mike Schmidt.
Wow.
All right, here we go.
Both are
1976.
legends, though.
What?
I said both are legends, Brian Dawkins and Mike Schmidt.
Okay.
True, but that's not what the answer was. So that's that's how this game works. 1976 sports drama.
Rocky.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Very
Oh, I
good.
blurted it out.
All right.
He had
One of the greatest all-time dunkers in the NBA.
Oh, I got that. Well, I know this isn't the answer, but Daryl Dawkins,
Okay.
who would smash the glass backboards, but it was Julius, Dr. J, Dr. Chapstick Irving.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Well, that would be correct. Yeah, number 6 is retired, and then
I got
goes
his
by Dr.
autograph
J.
on a $1 bill.
Oh,
Wow.
nice.
Interesting.
We saw Total Recall in 1990 right next to each other.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
All right, here we go. Next one, 2015 sports drama starring Michael B. Jordan
Um,
and
the next
Was a-
Rocky.
was a Rocky spin-off.
Creed.
Creed.
Creed. Yeah.
Creed it was. All right, last one. Here we go. Let's see. What should I'll start with number 13 is retired. Nicknamed the Stilt.
Wilt Chamberlain.
Phil. Yeah.
Wilt
Ah.
Chamberlain.
There you go. Very good. You did pretty well.
You know you're Philadelphia.
That's
Philly
right.
cheesesteaks, Phil? Come on, that's the low-hanging fruit.
You know, well,
What the heck?
all right. I don't want to embarrass our guest, but I didn't have to. He knew what he
No,
was
he's
doing.
good. He's good.
He knows it's Philadelphia.
Can I make a public service announcement?
Well, I was going to say, make a public service announcement as well as tell people how they can follow you on social media.
All right. So my PSA for people, just so they know, because we chuckle from Philadelphia, Ben Franklin was never a U.S. president.
It's true.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Wikipedia
Good
would
point.
disagree.
He was way too old.
All right. So what's the how can people follow you on social media and maybe learn more about Weather Ready Nation, Doug?
All right. So for me, it's DC Weatherbrand. See how I played that?
Yeah.
Hilderbrand, Weatherbrand.
Nice.
And then, of course, I'm the lead on the WRN Ambassadors Twitter account. We're not on Facebook. We're too cool for school, so we stay on Twitter. But WRN Ambassadors.
Oh, okay.
Sweet. Well, we're going to go ahead. We're going to take our final break. We're going to be right back with our contribution to the Weather Ready Nation, which is our hashtag weatherfools. And I mentioned earlier, we've scoured the dark web for another potty mouth forecast from someone you don't want to miss. We'll be right back. All right, awesome. Doug, will you do me a quick favor? Do me a quick favor.
Yep.
Quick little audio spot. If you can say, "Hi, I'm Doug Hilderbrand with the National Weather Service's Weather Ready Nation, and you're listening to the Stormfront Freaks podcast."
I'm Doug Hilderbrand from the National Weather Service and Weather Ready Nation, and you're listening to the Stormfront Freaks podcast.
One time.
Nice.
One take.
Very good. Well, hey, so Doug, I appreciate it. I mentioned I will. We'll once we upload the podcast on Sunday, I will on Monday probably just post it on Twitter and all that stuff and tag you just to make sure you know where it is.
Awesome. And like I was mentioning, we'll definitely tweet it out from our ambassador account, my personal account. But if all goes well, we'll try to get a flavor or something on the big NWS account.
Awesome.
That's why I tried not to swear while you were on. So.
Yeah, nicely done.
We cut him back on his drink.
That's tough for him sometimes.
It is. Yeah.
But thank you, seriously, thank you for what you're doing. Keep it going. If you ever want me, even just as a secondary panelist, let me know. This is enjoyable.
We just want to know who's the other one that's in the running with us so we can kind of find them.
Yeah.
That's true. Oh, it's the weather hype.
Oh, okay.
If you know, it's Castle Williams.
Castle and Ming.
Yeah, Min.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep, we
They're
know
good.
those guys.
This is, I'll keep you guys in mind for sure. you get a piece of paper.
Yeah. No, they've got a good show too. I like their show.
We've had them on.
Yeah, we've had them on the show.
Kids in bed and be super dad.
All right, go be super dad. Thanks, Doug.
Thanks, guys.
Good job.
I appreciate it.
Doug.
Bye.
All right. Todd was guessing the right movies. I see.
Yeah, we had some people
Steve?
participate.
Yeah.
I've never seen Creed before. Is that good?
Yeah.
I haven't either.
Rocky?
I have not
I'm
seen
just
that
gonna
either.
say, like, the big nasty's in it.
Who's the
He's
big
the
nasty?
he's the Russian, like Dolph Lundgren's son. He's the guy who plays Dolph Lundgren's son.
Oh, no kidding, really? So
Oh
he
my
came
God.
back too? Wow.
Apparently looking good.
You don't
too.
need to talk. You don't need to do anything.
Take it easy, Dina. Go get another beer.
I do follow him on Instagram.
Dina needs some quiet time.
She's like, I'm overclamped.
All righty.
I am empty, but
So let's go Brady Weather Fools. I've got one.
I got one.
I get two.
I've got one as well.
That's good. Good job, guys.
Very good. Yep. Covering Maz's ass again.
Thank you.
How many
Appreciate it.
Bill do you have? 14?
One. I just saw one this time.
Really? One.
Yeah, I've got a shitload of Trollbot ones, so I gotta
I have
catch
the
up.
hardest time with those. I don't really ever see those.
Oh man,
I don't know why.
I got a bunch of those. I've got enough to make Trollbot a regular segment, I think. But
Really? I have a hard time, so I might have to steal
Some
some
of our
of yours.
fans might want that. We'll see.
you guys are gonna like the potty mouth one this time again. It's a good one.
Mine's a weather fools, but it's like he's just dropping them. It's funny.
Okay.
I'm not gonna
Hold that
have
thought,
to
it's
edit
good.
on that, am I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
no, you won't hear it.
can't really
no, well,
hear
we
it.
shouldn't hear it unless she shares. Yeah, never mind. We'll see.
Well, actually, do you guys hear it?
No,
Oh, you can't hear it if I play it?
Sometimes
there is something under.
it depends. Yeah,
There is something.
but we don't want to
oh,
hear this one.
No, we don't. But where was it that I thought you could?
If you share a Chrome,
Oh, when you share your
Yeah.
screen.
when you share your screen, you can
Yeah,
check
yeah.
a box, but don't check it.
Okay.
But people should share their screens
Oh,
right
it
now.
says share
Yes.
audio. You don't want to share the audio?
No,
But that's
No,
the
we
best
don't.
part of this one.
Emphatically, no.
The only problem you could try it. We'd have to test the sound, like test it right now before we actually do it during the recording, because we've never done it before and I don't know how bad it's going to be. So
All right, share audio.
we'll just try it, give it a shot, see
All
what
right, I'm
happens.
trying to share. Okay.
you gotta have a reason. Okay.
All right, hang on.
The report, folks, but the rest of today is only fucking dreadful. Have a look at this. Look.
Oh, I've seen that before.
Down from
Oh my God.
on top of us.
Can you hear it?
More or less
You
from
can't hear
Yeah.
it real
Yeah.
well. No.
bollocks. Look in the middle.
All right.
If
So-
everybody's quiet, you can, but
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't really swear. It's like his accent.
No, he's well.
No, he
I think that
swears.
He is. He's dropping the F on the whole
He's
Yeah,
time.
it is.
Is he?
think
He's
it-
not
yeah,
like
I
talking
I saw
about
that.
Falcon,
Not the
New
Falkland
England
Islands.
Falcon
No, I don't
down
do
in the
that.
Falcon. It's the
This is not Andrew
mean-
Dice Clay.
60 down in Falcon.
Which
I
Falkland
don't know.
Island are you talking about?
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's funny.
I wonder if we've had that on a way while back, but
I
that's a
don't
good.
know. It looks old, but I
And
thought
it looks fake. It looks fake too, isn't it? It's
Maybe.
fake.
It may be.
So
I
Steve-
laughed.
Steve says
But
I
it's
can
good.
hear it fine.
Okay.
Well, we can edit it. Or you want me to just turn off the audio?
It's easy. Come on, MJ. Just kidding.
All right, hang on. I'll turn it off.
Guys,
I gotta have a reason for people to go to the show notes and see it and hear it
All
themselves. Right. Yeah, something
then
for them to look forward to.
All right, so Brady, it's episode 115. Show notes.
Okay.
And then I will take it with Potty Mouth Forecast, and then Freak Fan Box. Do we have anything?
Yes, I have one.
Okay. Freak Fan Box, and I'll close it up.
Guys, what do you think? Should I get a haircut? I've been looking at my hair.
Yeah,
I hate it.
It looks so long on top.
It looks so bad. Well, it's covering my bald spot, man.
Yeah, well.
Hey, MJ, you look great.
You look like you got a comb over.
I'm getting mine tomorrow.
It's awful.
Tomorrow.
All right.
It just looks a little like bedhead. That's all.
It does. Well, yeah, it does.
The wine doesn't help.
It's going to get everybody to sign up to see the Raw.
Oh my God, dude. Awful.
And yeah, just a reminder, if you are watching us, watching this Stormfront Freaks Raw, we've got tonight's episode, and then in 2 weeks, that episode will still be public and made available to you. But then starting October 29th, that one, the only way to catch it live is if you be a part of our Patreon membership, so we can get you more involved. And then 2 weeks after that, we got Dr. Greg Forbes is going to be on. So
Forbes, he's on.
Yeah, he's coming on.
Master G.
Yeah. So we'll have a good time. So yeah, just a reminder. So episode 117. Don't be shocked if you're like, oh, where is it? It's like, oh, that's right. It's on
Forbes
Patreon.
Is on 115.
Wait, I thought this was episode 115.
It is, but 117 is when we're going to be no longer public. And so only our Patreon members will be able to have get it live and have access to it for a couple of weeks before we would make it available to the public. So it's kind of an exclusive group now. We want to work with the fans that we've got, and we tried to come up with all these other cool ideas that, like the happy hour and the merchandise and and the granddaddy, which is we'll have you come on the show basically and be with our guest every episode.
Yeah, you better bring a drink too. Just saying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Better.
You'll be accosted if you don't bring.
It has to have a
Don't
drink.
bring
All right,
sparkling water.
Yeah.
Brady, are you ready? So I'm going to start with the "Don't Get Fooled Again" music. Start the applause, and then you can come in when you're ready.
Oh, I will. Oh, I'm ready.
All right. So everyone sharing their screen that needs to share.
Yeah.
Looks like
Oh
it.
wait.
Yeah.
All right.
Who's got weatherfools again?
I do, Dina.
Me
Mark,
and MJ.
So everybody but me. Everyone.
Of course.
Right.
Of course.
Maz, have you ever brought a Weatherfools?
Yes. Don't be silly.
Once or
Twice. It's episode 115, and there were at least 2 times.
At least
one.
once.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Maybe.
Coming in 3, 2.
It's time for everyone's favorite part of the podcast, guys. Welcome back to the Stormfront Freaks podcast. It's time for Weatherfools. Now, for those of you that it's your first time listening, not sure how many people first time listeners we have, but for those that are, or for those that forget what Weatherfools is simply us as the freaks. We're going on the web, we're going on Twitter, we're going checking our Yahoo emails, whatever email we got. We're looking for people that did something silly, stupid, or just downright dumb. And it's got to relate to the weather, and it preferably like a video or something, so we can all laugh as us together freaks. All right, Dina.
Laugh at your expense.
Thank you, Dina. Who is your Weatherfool this week?
All right, so this guy, he is, I guess he's a meteorologist, and he's got this great Irish accent. I was asked not to share the audio because he is just dropping the bombs through the whole thing, and it's just the funniest thing, and I really can't even stress how funny it is when I'm not sharing the audio. So you got to get on
Look at that! Look at that island. There's no like cities on it. There's no.
This looks really old.
Plus, it's raining across literally the entire island. So
I understand he calls them all the same thing. Right?
What kind of weather communication? And they don't even show you like cities or anything. I don't know.
And there's crazy like lightning bolts. But what kind of like makes me laugh is, sometimes when people record stuff, sometimes they do one and they start joking around because they don't send it live, they're recording it. And I've seen this happen where it kind of got real out of hand. One time it did go out by accident, in an old job I saw, but it was one of those, looks like they really let it go and somehow it's out there.
That's on the next segment called Potty Mouth Forecast. That's where that ends up.
This could have been either one.
Would have been a good one for that.
It could have been a TV station with low ratings, and maybe like, you know what? Let's really spice it up. See how this works out.
And with his accent, it's funny.
He had to come from the pub.
Exactly. Well, Dina, that was pretty great, guys. You're gonna have to check that one out to see the potty mouth language in that too. I think that also makes that a pretty awesome video. So we'll have that link. Phil, who is your weather fool this week?
All right, so this Twitter video that I want to share with you guys, this is from France, and Oleron Island. I don't know how you would say that with a French accent, but Oleron Island. Anyway, it's some hikers that happen to be out and on this island, and they ran into a tornado. Whoa. And they're basically filming this thing, and I'd say it's football field or two away, a couple hundred yards,
maybe.
Yeah.
And they're just hikers that were like, oh, look, I guess we're hiking in bad weather. And there's a tornado.
Oh my gosh.
Jeez.
So
literally stumbling across it.
Like
that doesn't happen very often.
Yeah. And the fact that they just stopped and you're like, let's just video this instead of like trying to run to shelter. They're like, this will be fine.
I mean, she's on her knees, so at least she kind of dropped a little bit, and she's got one hand on her head, but it's just holding her hat. She's not really covering her head.
She's laying in gravel. I mean,
you look around there though. There's not really a place to go or even a low area to lie in. So
it's called be weather aware. That's what that's called.
Yes. Right. Yes. Well, Phil, that was pretty awesome. Can't say I would do the same though. I might be running towards the tornado to be honest, because I've always wanted to run into a tornado, and I feel like that would be perfect.
Wow.
But anyway,
at least a dust devil. At least
dust devil. Yeah, not a
devil.
tornado.
Yeah. That might have been a land spout though too. Who knows? But anyway, MJ, you're up, man.
Yeah. So this first one, I've got two of them. So this first one is from our friend Jay is painting, Jay Bigham. And there's a truck submerged in flood water, of course, but it's got psychic and crystal ball and psychic reader all painted on it. So apparently even the psychic didn't know what was going to happen in that particular case.
Hashtag fail.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good fool for you. And then we have this who came to us from Mezzo Eye, Tim Boland. And it's a typical flood thing. But if you look in the background under the bridge, you see the guy whipping donuts in the middle of the flood, people trying to turn around. And so there's our fool for playing around in flood water while other people are trying to stay safe.
And not only that, but look at the white car has been submerged. I mean, it's stuck.
It's underwater. And then the truck that comes through just piles water up over the top.
This is one of those videos that should be titled "Hold My Beer."
Wow.
Yes, correct.
He's missing his Trump.
Exactly.
Oh, there you go.
I didn't want to say it, but
all right.
And both were from Houston, so honestly, I feel like it probably was the same event or the same flooding event, because I mean those were all from the past 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty nuts. Well, we're going to have that video on a link as well. All right, I will go last here. So I don't have a video, but this is more of an article here. And I'll just read you the headline. And with all the California wildfires that have started and all this stuff, you guys might have seen this. California wildfire started with pyrotechnics at gender reveal party, fire officials say. Now, this wasn't just a small fire. This was a 7,000-acre El Dorado fire. And this article was about 3 weeks ago. So this is, I don't know if it's still burning or not, but that's a huge fire. And I mean, that would just be the worst thing in the world to have. Not Firestar by a lightning strike, but a gender reveal party. It's like, oh my God, come on, guys. Get a little bit more smart about how you do it. And it says here the family could be held financially or criminally responsible for this. I mean, that could be millions of dollars. So, I mean, that's not good.
It burned structures. So that was a nasty deal.
Wow.
Not good. So the lesson is, if you ever have a burn warning, or if you ever a red flag warning, please, for the love of God, don't go out and have something that could burn, or just be smart, people.
You know what we did at our gender reveal party? I told everybody we're having a boy. Yeah, that's what I did. It was fun.
Phil, sometimes that's the best. Simplicity is sometimes the best. Anyway, guys, so that was Weather Fools. Thanks for watching our Weather Fools segment. We're going to have all those videos and links to the articles that we showed you here on the show. Take a look at our website, stormfrontfreaks.com, or take a look at your podcast app. Check out the show notes. Once again, this is episode 115. So check out the show notes there to see those links and more.
Very good. All right. So we are moving on to one of our new segments we have that we introduced a couple episodes ago. We call this Potty Mouth Forecasts. And what this is we search the dark web, which is where all the shady stuff happens, right? And we look for these famous weather people that maybe did some weather forecasts on a day they weren't real happy, and they might have shot off a few, as Dina was saying earlier, maybe some F-bombs, maybe something else. But we find these and we share them with you. Now, we have pre-edited these, so don't worry about hearing the bad words. We kind of cut those out. But I found this. You guys are going to be excited about this. One of our past guests we've had on a couple times is James Spann.
Oh, yeah.
Who is a meteorologist down in Birmingham, Alabama. He's been down there for I don't know how long, but James is a very well-known, well-respected TV meteorologist. And I found this because James also has an affinity to not be, to get off my lawn sometimes about certain things. And one of the things he feels that way is about the Farmer's Almanac. Right. And so this was from a broadcast on his TV station as they were going to talk a little bit about the Farmer's Almanac. Listen in.
Lauren, let's go to that other big prognosticator. Wow, I talk for a living out there.
She was trying to say bonehead.
Well, this is one that James Spann really doesn't put a whole lot of trust in, and that's the Farmer's Almanac. What does it say?
Well, despite James standing next to me, I'm going to let you know what it says. It says that the Alabama will experience a chilly and wet winter. I'm sorry, James, but that's what it says.
No, it doesn't. It says you're going to have warm periods, cold periods, rainy periods. So,
here we go. We'll see what James has to say.
Hang on. Now, James, I've known you a long time, and I've learned this much about you. You do not put a whole lot of faith in long-term outlooks for weather predictions. So does this forecast leave you cold?
I'm just dead. I'm about to drop dead. I'm so cold. Now, there is no skill. Look, we have a hard time figuring out the weather 3 hours in advance on some days, and the skill is so small in these seasonal outlooks. And by the way, this is the official outlook from the Weather Service. This is a greater than 33% chance of a colder than average winter. How do they get this empirically? I mean, that makes no sense. And in terms of the precipitation, they have an equal chance. But these things rarely ever verify. You could go down to the Birmingham Zoo, get an orangutan, throw a dart, and it would be about as good as this stuff. So don't count on these outlooks. There's not much skill. There's a lot of things we can do, and there's a lot of things we can't do in this business. There's a lot of things we don't know, and we're just not good at this. So I'm done.
So that's one of his more famous rants, I think, that got sent to the dark web. But yep, our potty mouth forecast is definitely a favorite. Let's check our freak fan box.
Send me a postcard, drop me a line.
You've got mail, baby, yeah.
All right, MJ.
All right, we have a little bit of mail. At least one. And this is from Dan. Yeah, we got one.
We got mail.
Like that.
Say it like that, man.
Dan the Weather Guy at Danny the Weather says, I like your podcast show. I listen to every episode. Keep up the great work, and also can't wait for the next episode.
Nice.
So,
Thanks,
thanks,
Dan.
Danny.
There you go.
For that, we certainly appreciate it. You too can send us a comment, get yourself heard on the show. On Twitter, we're at Stormfront Freak. On Facebook, at Stormfront Freaks. Or send it to questions@stormfrontfreaks.com. That's the Freak Fan Box.
Very good.
Whoa.
Well, hey, that just about does it for this episode of Stormfront Freaks podcast. Thanks for listening or watching. And before I get to announcing who our next guest is, if you do like the show, don't forget to subscribe or to follow the show so you get notified and receive the latest episodes delivered right to your podcast player the moment it gets released. Just got to hit that subscribe button or follow button. Also, again, don't forget to visit patreon.com/Stormfront Freaks to check out all the ways you can support us and we can do more with you. So we're getting excited about the interactions we can have with you. Special thanks again to our guest tonight, Doug Hilderbrand. It's really cool to kind of hear about that program and what they're working on and some of the exciting things some of the other ambassadors have been doing communication-wise. Our next episode, we're going to be recording live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter on Thursday, October 15th at 9 Eastern, 8 o'clock Central. To celebrate International Podcast Day, we're bringing on the team of Joe and Kelly Mays. They're the creators of the Minute by Minute Twister podcast.
Oh, nice.
So they watch Twister, and then they take every minute of Twister, and then they analyze and talk about it and everything. And that's each episode covers 1 minute of the Twister movie. So
is this going to be like an 8-hour show, or
we're not? Well, yeah, we're not going to. We won't go that long. But I'm looking forward to that. Should be a good time. So for MJ, for Maz, Brady, and Dina, I'm going to signal the all clear, and we'll catch you guys next time. Good night, everybody.
That was fun. Wow, we
right.
really
Related to billionaires.
It went quick because we had shorter breaks. We took our break short so we could get
right.
Doug out of here. Get him.
And he had to go at a certain time. So
Yeah, he had to go at 1:45. So
good. I got to get up early.
that fireball made me sleepy.
Hopefully the cats don't keep you up, Dina.
Fireball, is that the stuff you just buy in the like convenience store and the little bottles of?
Yeah, yeah.
Matt, we should have a show where you and I just do a fireball shoot off and we just keep.
Oh my gosh.
That would be awesome.
Wouldn't take
Hey,
much.
I want to plan another movie show where we watch a movie together. Any recommendations for cool?
Sharknado.
Oh,
What?
Sharknado.
Sharknado.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
Really?
You're not missing anything.
I have.
It's a spectacle, that's for sure.
I mean,
It is dangerous. Steve is right. It is dangerous.
it's funny though when you posted that thing about the gator because the movie Crawl that's what that is.
Oh, serious?
Yeah.
A hurricane, yeah.
I never saw that. No.
I think it's on maybe HBO Max or it's out now. You don't have to pay for it, but it's funny. It's South Florida, they get stuck there and somebody's injured and they can't move them and the gators are coming in and,
really realistic.
It's yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Into the storm.
There's also like, Day After Tomorrow. I mean, that's like the most classic.
Yeah,
one that everyone knows.
I did that. That was the one I was thinking about, but Sharknado.
When all that cold air, they were
After
talking about
Tomorrow.
how the cold air was coming down. I'm like,
Day After Tomorrow. Who was that actor?
Dennis Quaid was in it.
Dennis Quaid.
And Gyllenhaal.
Yeah,
he was younger. Yeah.
Jarhead.
The guy from Say Anything. What was his name? He was like a kickboxer or something.
Kickboxer. From Say Anything?
It was
Karate Kid.
No, did you see Say Anything? That was back
Yeah,
in the 80s.
Curtis said
John
the Day After
Cusack?
Tomorrow is
Yeah,
tolerable.
John
It
Cusack.
is.
Thank you.
If
He was in that movie.
It's probably more tolerable than Sharknado. Probably.
I don't know though. If you look at the meteorology behind both, Sharknado is almost as realistic. Just saying.
Brady, your hair's getting
Just saying.
crazier. as
I
the night
know.
goes
I'm
on.
getting
What are
haircut
you doing?
back. But seriously though,
Like Nutty Professor after a while.
But seriously though, Day After Tomorrow is almost just a little bit more realistic weather-wise than
Probably have seen that
Than
one,
Sharknado.
just a little bit.